All right, welcome back. We have 352 stories on realcopstoriesvideos.com. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're done with the stories. As I can remember, my mind's, I'm toast sometimes. Covers everything you can think of. This story is going to be long, and it's my last one. But I reserve the right, my associate told me, to come back if I have other partners that gave me some stories that I work with, because this is all what I remember. I have a lot of partners that I'm trying to get a hold of them. We're going to come up with another format in the future. I'll get into that at the next episode. We're going to have a little farewell thing here. Okay, so here's the last story. You might have seen this on television. It's on American Greed. Okay, working on narcotics, but we get called to help. And we got called from robbery homicide because they had an active homicide investigation going. Okay, and they wanted some surveillance done. They found out that, well, I'll put this way, I won't get into details, it's too long a story. They found out from traffic officers that two gentlemen had been murdered by being run over. Okay, and just by coincidence, they discovered that they both had the same two ladies involved that came to claim the body, and of course, the insurance. So they wanted us to go up on these two ladies and see what they're up to. While they try to get a case against them. They had, they were put these guys in names, they were transient. They put their names in insurance policies. You have to wait, I think, a year or 2 years before you can collect, and so they're doing that. So I want to see what they're up to, who they meet, and where they're going, what banks they go to. They're building a case to put them in prison. Now, these ladies are over there in their 70s. Okay, they're white ladies. One of them is like from Romania, I think, or Yugoslavia or something. The other one's an American lady. One's kind of middle class. The other one's kind of upper class. One lives by the beach. One lives in Hollywood. Without getting too much detail, what we do is one night we watch one, we watch the other one, back and forth, okay? One was eccentric, the rich one, drove a Lexus, fancy clothes. She with her daughter and her little grandchild. They go to recitals, they go to Nordstrom to shop. Had lady officer got out, went in there. She's buying like, $50 underwear or whatever, because this is a rich style. Well, of course you're rich. You're collected. They thought they already collected from one dead guy. Okay, so that comes out later. But they're trying to build this case. It takes a while to build a case. This isn't CSI on television. The case is done in 55 minutes. Takes months. Okay, so that's her lifestyle. Doesn't go very many places, but she goes to the same bank, post office, gets money orders. We're writing all that down because we got the feds involved because she's got mail fraud going, all kinds of stuff. She's kind of normal, kind of. The other lady is nuts. Okay, she's crazy. She lives in Hollywood. She goes for walks down the street. My God, she went to Santa Monica Beach one night, 9 o'clock at night. This is why I don't go to the beach, man. And if I go to the beach, I put a towel down. Even then, she's walking along. They had a sidewalk that ran. There's where you park your cars. Then they have the sand, and they have the beach. Well, halfway between, they put a sidewalk in, like this, so you can ride your bikes and people can walk. So she's walking on the sidewalk. I got a couple of guys on foot in the dark watching her. A couple of guys on the bluff watching her because we want to see what she's doing. If she's going to meet somebody. She's going to meet an old man. They were killing old guys. These guys are old. They're killing. They're 60s and 70s. What does she do? She just, right there in the sidewalk, 9 o'clock at night, there's hardly anybody out. She just squats and pees right on the sand, okay? And so one of the guys goes, that's why I don't go to the beach barefoot. I said, I'm not going to the beach at all. I mean, you got dogs. They're allowed dogs on there. And so they pick up the dog stuff, but you can't pick it all up, okay? So anyway, that's gross. And another night, we did this for like a month and a half, 2 months actually, I think. This lady would come out of her house and go up on Sunset Boulevard and walk down Sunset Boulevard, go into a bunch of areas that had a bunch of condos with big, the sidewalks, the steps go up to the condos because they're raised up on property, and they had planters all the way down right next to the sidewalk, raised up about 3-4 feet, the planters, and then it goes up. And she'd walk along, and then I had guys walking, watching her. They go, uh-oh. I go, what? They're on the radio. She's up there on top of a planter, probably taking a dump, okay? Can you imagine? She just came from her apartment 3 blocks away. You can't go to your own bathroom? Okay, maybe that's the way they do it in Yugoslavia or Bulgaria or whatever. I don't know where she's from. So these are the kind of women we're following. And they weren't hard to follow. Usually we follow drug dealers and all these other stuff. They're very looking around. These gals are just driving along, so it was an easy follow. So we're following them. A couple scary things happen. One day, the crazy one, I'll call them the crazy and the rich one, she goes and meets a guy. This was kind of spooky. She's in a housing, really nice housing tracts in west side of Los Angeles, very rich, area. And there's a guy, we're following her, and she pulls up behind a guy, and the guy gets out, he's in his probably 70s, and she gets out, and he goes and sits in her car. She goes to the trunk, and I got a guy taking pictures, okay? And she pulls out some forms, and she's having him sign forms in the car, okay? And I'm going, uh-oh. So I call the boys downtown and go, she is signing up a new victim. What do you want us to do? And they're like, oh my God, oh my God. I said, well, I said, I'm telling you right now, I said, I'm going to have half the guys follow him and half the guys follow her, and because something's up here, you know. Okay, fine. I said, yeah. We're going to call because they have to make their decision because they're not quite ready to make the arrest yet. Okay, fine. Okay, so I called my boss, and he was kind of a a-hole, so he didn't really understand what we did. So I just kind of ignored him. I'm running this thing, and I want to make sure this gal doesn't kill anybody. Okay, and I had young officers. Younger officers are more susceptible to trying to follow the rules a little more closely than guys like me who look at the broad picture. When you drive a car, an officer, and you crash, it's an accident. You could get reprimanded for being in the wrong. If you turn in front of somebody, you're in wrong. You get reprimanded. However, if you see a crime being committed, I tell my guys, if you see a crime being committed and you could stop it with your car, then you use your car to stop the crime. I had to tell these guys, if you see her running down an alley or driving towards a male, this guy, you run her off the road. You're no longer an accident. It's an intentional act by you to prevent a felony. And in fact, if she does run over somebody and she's going to get away, run her off the road. We're not going to sit here and play games here, okay? And they're like, whoa. I said, you could, if it comes to the department wanting to harass you and write you a negative on your paperwork, you point to me and say, I gave you a direct order to do that. Let them come to me, and I'll justify what I did by saving lives, okay? They won't do anything to you about saving lives. Oh, no. That's the exception to the rule of driving your car, is that you can use it to defend yourself, okay? Or just to save the lives of the public. That's what we get paid for. We're not going to get paid to watch her run this guy over. Say, I don't want to, oh my gosh, I might bump my car? Come on, man. I had to tell the young guys, you can do this, okay? I want you to do this. I don't want to hear, no, there's no okay? So we briefed. So she was there for a while, took all his photographs, and then they separated. So this old boy's walking home, okay? Well, we followed him home. And then she took off, so we followed her. So we separated. We've been into this lady probably about 2 months now. So thank goodness, because as soon as we told them that, they freaked out downtown. They said, oh, this has got to end. So they got some warrants they got them for wiretap. Apparently every time they put in a false claim with the insurance company or false application, put a stamp on it and mailed it, that's a felony. That's a wire fraud or mail fraud. So they had like 50 counts on each of them because they've been doing it for years, okay? They did it when the two guys that got dead, they collected their money. They collected money on one of them, and the other one they didn't collect money because that was the one they discovered her on, so they're trying to make this case on the second one. Make a short story, trying to make this shorter. So ultimately found the car, she couldn't find the car that she ran over the guy with, and they ultimately found the car, like 2 years after it happened, okay? Believe it or not, they lifted the car up, and they found samples of the victim's DNA underneath the car, okay? Well, that did it. They got warrants, everything else. So game day came. And half my guys were watching the crazy one, and I was with the rich one. And talk about, one of my videos I told you they had like 60 cops. There must have been another 60 cops here. Like 30 in one house and 30 in another. And my assistant told me at the crazy lady's house, they went there. She wouldn't open the door, so they had to break the door with a battering ram. Got her into custody. They had SWAT guys to helping us, okay? So they had a SWAT lady, very rare, to escort her. And my assistant said, my guys are standing out front in plain clothes. And all cops know who everybody is. So they're taking her to the police car to take her downtown. And she's chipping the whole time. She's nuts. You have the right to stop me. Yelling away. So apparently this SWAT lady, my assistant heard her. She leans over and says, if you don't shut your fucking mouth. This is a woman telling another woman, I'm going to shut it for you. And I guess this crazy looked at her, put her head down, get in the car. She gets in the car. She slams the door. She looks at my butt. She just smiles. I mean, you get the SWAT as a woman, you've accomplished so many things to get there. I mean, you crawled over guys that are less qualified than you to get there. You don't give that spot away. You have to earn it, and she earned it. That was funny. He says, "Man, you scared the hell out of her." I said, "Well, good." My lady came out, rich gal, she came out with her silk pajamas and her hair, even when at 7 in the morning. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening. If you watch the video on TV, you'll see what she did. They hooked her ass up and off they went. Okay, so anyway, so they booked him initially for mail fraud. Put them in a room. They confessed in the room, telling each other, I won't compete with what this TV thing said. So then they got him with that. They got them there. And in the meantime, they transferred him from the federal jail for wire fraud to the city jail for murder. Okay? And a side note, one of the lead detective, I don't mention his name, he's retired now. He's the one that made the case. He made a lot of big cases. They found out that the rich lady was the one that actually did the driving of the car over the victims, not the crazy one. They were both conspirators, but the rich lady. He had the rich lady in the back seat, and he had a lady detective with him, and they're taking him down one of the main streets to the jail, to the ladies' jail. And there's caravanning. The other car has the other lady with more detectives, and they're just caravanning in plain cars to go put her in the jail. He said they're driving down the street, and there's kids playing catch, and of course they stop playing because it's not a really big street, but it's big enough. And so one kid threw a football when the cops went by. And he doesn't know whether they threw it at the cop because it was a cop car, or they just want to throw it under a car, who knows what. So he said he drove over the ball, and they're driving along it, you hear the thump, thump, thump underneath the car, right? So then he says, hey, tells her name, does that now sound familiar underneath the car? Referencing the fact that she drove over the victim, okay? That he didn't get that, okay? But I guess the female partner, she's now in charge now. She just starts laughing, and this guy, that's not funny. He goes, I think it's extremely funny. And the guy that did the joke was a very straight air, one of those dry humor, He'll tell a joke 20 times and never laugh. That's the way he is. His humor's, if you know the guy, you even see him funnier because he just, does that sound familiar to you? Everybody's laughing. I thought that was hysterical. So they booked him for murder, and they got convicted. They got 25 to life. They're mid-70s. They're going to die in prison, which they should. 2 guys they killed for insurance only. They signed up another guy, and we don't know how many other guys they signed up. We only saw one guy sign up, so we were worried about that guy, and they wouldn't tell him what happened. And in the video that you see on American Greed, they talked to another guy that was trying to be signed up, another Caucasian gentleman that was a transient guy, tried to get him up. They even got him into the room where they're going to sign him up, and he decided that didn't feel right, and they interviewed him afterwards saying, whoa, they told him you could have been a victim also. So these gals weren't good gals, man. So horrible women, especially the one that likes to pee and go poop on the public. On your streets, your beach. Gross. Anyway, that's my last story, and I'll have a little prologue here in a little bit afterwards, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.